So the Sixers fall to the Raptors in Game 4 by a final score of 110-102. A tough one all around for the squad. The Sixers fail to complete the sweep and now lead it 3-1. We will talk about it all. Let's go.
Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome on into Philly Take with RB. You know what to do. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Be sure to ring the bell so you don't miss any of the content. Today we're back, and the Sixers fall to the Raptors. I got to give the Raptors credit. First and foremost, they did come out. I didn't think they would be able to. I thought the Sixers would sweep after the way they have been looking in the last couple games. But the Raptors, who didn't seem like they had a lot left in the tank, got Scotty Barnes back a little bit this game for an energy spark. You know, Thaddeus Young came off the bench looking like he was back in 2008. You know, even when Van Vliet went down, that team kind of stayed together and willed themselves and got it done. So I do give them credit. At the same time, I'm just going to shoot you straight here. I think the Sixers, even though they couldn't complete the sweep, I think they get it done on Monday night in gentleman's sweep fashion, because coming back to our house, even having a guy like Matisse Thybulle on defense, you know, the Sixers, let's be honest, they've looked pretty good for most of this series. Even today, like if you want a silver lining from this game, like my main takeaway, and I promise, it's not just me trying to spew positivity, it's just what I'm seeing. You know, the Sixers played absolutely miserable today. They were awful. It was disgusting. And you have those kinds of games in series sometimes. I mean, we've had it the past couple years, right? And it's those games where everybody starts overreacting and they think the world is falling on its side. The fact of the matter is, though, we were up 3-0, so we're not getting as much of that. But these games do happen sometimes, right? But my silver lining is that with how bad we played, we were in the game. Until what, 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes to go? I mean, if the Sixers just had a little bit of spark, whether it was Joel Embiid not making so many careless turnovers, or even Tyrese Maxey getting aggressive in this game, they probably win. They probably win and end it. The one main thing, though, that is annoying about this is now, especially since Miami lost last night, this was an opportunity for the Sixers to be the first team to advance to the second round, have some extended rest. We'll talk about Joel Embiid and stuff and his injury. But now we don't get that. We have to play another game, and hopefully we just get this done. I can't wait to put these cats away. Again, respect to Toronto, but it's time. It's time to put them away. And, you know, I can't wait till it happens on Monday night. I do firmly believe it will happen. I mean, look at some of these shooting percentages tonight. The Sixers shot 42% from deep tonight, and the Raptors shot 23.5%. It's like, how did the Sixers lose this game? The one thing I've been surprised with this entire series is the Sixers shooting the lights out of the ball 40+% from three every single game. I did not expect that to happen. And when you look at the stats today, it's like, if we just could have had a couple possessions, right? Because down late in the game, it's going back and forth. It was a scrappy, a gritty game. And honestly, it didn't really feel like either team wanted it. And that's my takeaway, right? Like, if the Raptors came out rejuvenated and I saw something where it's like, okay, like, we need to really be concerned, I would say it. But I don't think they played nearly a top game. I thought it was very sloppy on both sides. Now, I will give credit to Pascal Siakam, 34 points. The dude finally showed up. I've been saying I don't really think he's like a top option, and he finally showed up today. Now, he did have some favorable calls, went 13 for 50 from the line, but that is also going to happen. I know a lot of Sixers fans are complaining about the fouls. You know, the truth is that James Harden hasn't won a game when reffed by Scott Foster. Same thing with Chris Paul, with the Suns. But I'm not going to sit here and blame the refs, okay? That's me. I'm not going to sit here and blame the refs. Even though they were bad, we lost the games ourselves by just being poor and being careless and just being absolutely terrible anytime we had touched the ball later in this game. And I think if we play better just a little bit, I think we win this game. But yeah, Pascal Siakam, he had 34 points tonight, right? And Gary Trent had 24 points. And other than those two, obviously Thaddeus Young turned back the clock. But other than that, nobody else did anything. So, I mean, the Raptors still, to me, obviously Barnes came back in. He was kind of banged up and got hurt again. I don't really see them having too much to beat us in another game. But they got one, and again, respect to them. As it turns over to the Sixers, we'll read a couple quotes here post-game, which I think are pretty interesting. First off, Doc Rivers asked about the officiating today, and he says, they deserve to win the game. I'm not going to sit here and complain. I'm not going to like they do. We got beat tonight. So, hey, shooting some shots at Nick Nurse. I like it. I like it, man. Hey, giving him a little jab. I mean, it's true. Even Nick Nurse, after every call today, was complaining and, of course, trying to will his team to get the edge. Obviously, the refs were in favor of Toronto. This is what happens in the NBA, when a team's up 3-0. They want to extend series like this. They want to have it for more business. And, it's going to happen. I fully expected it, and I'm not mad at it. Calls go each way in the series. But Doc Rivers, very funny there. And Doc did affirm, that we would be okay. He thought that this team just had a bad day, and that does happen sometimes. And now, a couple quotes from Joel Embiid. One after the game, he commented on the officiating. He said, to me, it felt like they had one job coming in here tonight, and they got it done, and they did a great job. He said that sarcastically, and, I mean, can't get fined for it. He's saying they did a good job, right? They did a great job. But the even more important thing, as we discussed the injury, because, we wanted to see how his thumb would look, and I thought a lot of Sixers fans were overreacting, even after the first half, because he, had 10 points. He was like 3 for 10, looking terrible. The fact of the matter is that Joel has had slow first halves this season, and he usually comes out and dominates, and that is what he did for the most part, other than his bad decision-making. He finished with 21 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. And Joel was asked about his thumb and how it felt and all, and he said he believes he will be able to play through the playoffs, and if the MRI does confirm he needs to have a surgical procedure on his thumb, he will wait until after the playoffs to do so. And so he's going to, keep it taped up or whatever. But, I mean, the other night he played when it was hurt, and he played today. I think he'll be okay. I really didn't see the thumb as an injury or like an issue today. I thought it was more like just his decision-making. Like Embiid kind of looked a couple years ago, like he did today, like with the careless turnovers. He was getting doubled and tripled every time. It's funny because Nick Nurse has been doing this all series, and that's another thing. Like, for Raptors fans to say that, they switch up. No, they didn't. They've been doing this all series long. Here's the difference. The rest of the Sixers, all right, Maxey, Harden, and, Tobias, they didn't play like they did the last couple games. That was the difference. When you have your other playmakers and your other scorers on fire, then yeah, they can double Joel, and it's going to look good for the Sixers because they're still putting up points. They're still accumulating offense. Today, it didn't look like that because, well, barely anybody was on, right? James Harden, 5 for 17 from the field, 22 points, but, was he really, really efficient? I mean, he was okay. He still needs to take more shots and knock down his shots, especially because I'm seeing James Harden blow by a lot of defenders, but he's not able to finish with that little touch, so he needs to get that down. Tyrese Maxey was 4 for 12 in this game with 11 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. And, Maxey didn't look like himself. Like, the one of the main things that I didn't like today was in crunch time, and I think it was like third, fourth quarter, I saw about 8 to 10 plays in a row of just Harden isolation. And that's not what we've done the first couple games. Like I said, we need to stay multidimensional as an offense, and we can't have, the same play. We can't be predictable because then the Raptors can just throw the same things at us. And, when Harden's facilitating and when Maxey's driving to the basket and Joel Embiid's involved doing his thing, like, then we can be successful, right? Danny Green had a really bad day, 2 for 10. Now, Tobias had 15.7 for 12, 11 rebounds. I thought Tobias played well. On the defensive side, he didn't have his best day, and I thought that the refs were a little bit favorable, like I said, towards Siakam, but it is what it is. Harris finished with 5 fouls, so he's just got to keep doing his thing, keep being aggressive. I do like the aggression he is playing with and just the attitude, so I hope that steps up. Niang had a 3 triple game off the bench. Paul Reed came in, had a little bit of a spark. Maybe could have even played some more, given Embiid some rest. Shake Milton, 7 points in 15 minutes. We're getting some constant production from these guys. It's going to need to be able to continue. But yeah, late in this game, I just saw us doing the same thing. I didn't see any sets run. It looked like the same old vanilla offense that we've seen before. And really, we needed to get Tyrese Maxey going. With about 4 to 5 minutes to go, I said, if Maxey gets on a run, we could ideally win this game. But we kind of just stuck with the same thing. Maybe that was part of Joel not feeling good and just, staying back. Joel actually did say after the game that the first 2 games of the series, he was, battling an illness or a cold or whatever. So, hopefully he'll be able to go and be fine. But I'm not really worried. I'm not really worried based off what I saw because the Raptors did not play that well, and yet we still were in this game. Now, anything could change. The Sixers, I will say, need to get their business done on Monday night because if the Raptors somehow win that game on our floor, then it goes back to Toronto. I don't want to do that. We should have finished it off today, But if we can finish it off on Monday, I'm not going to be mad. We'll still get some decent rest time. A lot of the other series are still ongoing. And when you think about this game, you know, the Raptors just came out with more energy. They played harder. And I don't expect that to be the same. I think the Sixers learned today that you can't sleepwalk through and just lollygag, right? And I just didn't see that fire today. So hopefully we will be ready to go on Monday and get it done. But overall, you know, the Raptors, shout out to them. They had a great game, but I think the Sixers learned from this, like I said, late in the game, you know, and in terms of what Doc Rivers was saying after the game, like, yo, we need to be prepared. We need to go out there, do our thing. I think we'll be all right. If we lose Monday, we can start worrying a little bit. But the Sixers have been shooting the ball lights out. They just need to get aggressive. Maxey needs to get started hot. Tobias, man, I would even rock with him a little bit. He is in his bag right now, just doing his thing. And Embiid just can't, you know, he's been really good this year in passing out of doubles, right? He's finding the outlet pass. I don't know what it was today. He kind of just got out of his rhythm, out of his element, you know, what his normal identity is. And he's trying these, like, cross-court passes that were just too predictable. They were getting picked. So hopefully it gets better. But those are just my thoughts on this game. Sixers look to complete the gentleman's sweep on Monday and hopefully put down the Raptors for good. Give me all your thoughts down below in the comment section. How do you feel about this game? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And like always, I will catch you on the next one, man. Peace.
Perfect.